Update: would I be the a-hole if I left my fiancée destitute? Original post. I might not be in the right state of mind, but I had to get this off my chest. 2 days ago, I came back from basketball a little early. I overheard my fiancée Jenny tell her friend that she is settling for me. This friend just got out of a relationship. I don't know what they were talking about before, but I just heard Jenny saying that after all the a-holes she dated, settling for me will be good for her. She then went on to describe my job and all the perks of being with me. Love is apparently not on the list. Hearing this kinda broke me, and I just stood in place dumbfounded. I don't even think she even loves me. For context, we live in a beach house that I bought as a total gut job and renovated it myself, and I have several other properties that are all rented out. I work in property insurance from home and do house flips on the side. I'm satisfied with what I've accomplished so far in my life. All of this was worth mentioning for Jenny, but not how much I loved her. How much time we spent together. Not how I tried to be supportive of her goals and ambitions. How she wanted for nothing. I'm not going to lie, I was in a bad place. Maybe still am. I spent all of last night going through her messages. I knew her password, I just never looked. Well, it's a pretty common thing for her to say. Pretty much all her friends know what's up. Jenny wants a nice normal guy after all the a-holes she dated. She wants a drama-free life where she'll be taken care of. Every time I read what she really thought about me, it was like another needle was being jammed in my heart. My first reaction was to yell at her and confront her about it. My second reaction was to make her suffer like I am. My dear Jenny, the love of my life, I thought, doesn't work right now. She quit to be a real estate agent. I don't know, maybe she wanted to learn more about real estate, maybe she thought her looks would get her by. She doesn't work right now. 0. She also lives in my house. She decorated it, certainly put her touches on everything, but my name is on the title. Just mine. Her car is technically mine too. She didn't qualify for financing on her own, and she just had to have a Beamer, so I co-signed it. I can probably make a case that it's my car. We don't have joint accounts. Thank the Almighty himself, because she did ask, and I pay her cards right now. I want to just show her the texts, throw her things in garbage bags, and put her out on the street. Would I be the a-hole if I did that? She lives with you and doesn't work. She has friends and family, and frankly get out from under this dating situation quickly. I would tell her you know what she says to her friends about you, and heard her talking to her friend. Never did love come into the conversation once. That you want to break up and she must leave immediately. I suggest you bring a friend while you do this, and pack her a bag and have her go to family or friends. She can't say you hit her or said horrible things to her with a witness. In a moment, she will desperately say anything out of panic and abandonment issues. You are dating and don't need to be so generous with her. We date to choose our partner and you do not want to be hers. Nope, not the a-hole. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Fortunately, you found out before you became even more entangled or married. It seriously sucks, and it'll probably be a while before you can throw her out. You'll probably have to evict her. A BMW? Really? She's got expensive taste, huh? Well, guess who shouldn't settle? You dude. You can do a whole lot better, and I seriously doubt she can. I have been with a-holes before. You know what my reaction to my beautiful, smart, loving, kind partner was? Wow, I hope this human being could love me as much as I love him. And he does. Oh, and his family is better off than mine. That couldn't mean less to me. Not the a-hole Opie. That woman needs to learn what love is. Stability is important. A meal ticket is not. Right? Opie should ask himself if his partner would stay if he lost everything. Would she step up and support if he decided to go back to school to fulfill a dream or change careers? That's what a true partner would do, and it doesn't sound like she would. He should ask her that question. Seriously, and gauge her reaction. I know one thing, and that I loved my late husband beyond anything. He traveled for work Monday to Friday, and every time he pulled out of the driveway Monday mornings, I got teary. The biggest disagreement we ever had was me telling him that I would give up the big house in the country and live in a trailer if I could just wake up to him every morning. 9 months later, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I'd gladly have stayed right by his side, even if he was severely disabled for life, if I could just have him in my life for the rest of mine. He passed 3 months after diagnosis, and I've missed him every day since. Is she that person? Because life does happen. It's been almost 30 years. Always miss him. As bittersweet as it can be, I promise I wouldn't trade the heartache because it's the best reminder of how blessed I was and continue to be. To all of you, find someone who loves you that deeply. There is no fancy wedding or car or house that means anything more, will keep you warm at night, or hold you at your worst. Settle on that kind of love. Edit. Holy smokes, I did not expect so many responses. Thank you everyone for your advice and kind words. I will talk to Jenny sometime over the weekend. I think she picked up that something was up. I didn't call her from work like I usually do, and last couple of nights I made an excuse that I was beat and went to bed pretty early. I'll try to read as many replies and provide more information, but I wanted to clarify a couple of things. Regardless of how crappy I feel, I didn't like people calling Jenny nasty names. It's partly my fault because I didn't give enough detail. Before quitting, she had a decent enough job. She's not good at managing money at all, but she would buy stuff for the house or gifts for me on special occasions. I never thought of her as a gold digger. She talked to me about quitting and trying to be a real estate agent. She told me she liked the freedom of the profession and I tried to be supportive. Secondly, I don't think I misunderstood her meaning. Maybe she didn't mean it as a negative, but the messages were crystal clear. She settled for me. Now for the update. I talked to Jenny, told her how I overheard her talking, how she is settling for me. I told her how that felt and what kind of mood I was in after. She had tears rolling down her face as I was telling her how I felt. She didn't say anything for a bit. Then she just said, "I'm sorry. It was true when we started dating." She just heard from a mutual friend that I was great and she thought she'd give me a chance. She said, in the beginning it was about feeling safe and feeling like she could be supported and loved. In the beginning, it was just being with someone who had their act together and would be good for her. Eventually, she fell in love. She loved me dearly. This didn't make me feel better. I then told her about the text messages, and this is when she got angry. That I was an a-hole for going through her messages. Violation of privacy, betrayal of trust. How dare I? I didn't set out to get her password, she's just extremely careless with it. She hits remember password on everything. When she types it out, she hits show password first. If you happen to be glancing at the screen, you'd know what it was. That's how I found out. I've never thought to use it until that day. Eventually, after going on about reading her messages, she stopped and was sobbing for a minute. Finally, she just goes, "What do you want me to say?" I can't help how I feel. I wasn't the type she'd go for before. She's still attracted to those types of guys. She's just older now and knows better. That's why she's settled with me. She loves me and wants to spend the rest of her life with me. That doesn't work for me. I told her we had different ideas about what a relationship, especially marriage, were. The trust is broken for both of us. I went through her messages. She settled for me even though I'm not her type. This is where we go our separate ways. We agreed eventually that she stay with one of her friends. I'll move all her stuff to the spare bedroom, and when she finds a place, I'll help her move. She can keep the car. I was just being an a-hole about leaving her destitute. She was crying from the moment we started talking to the moment we went into separate rooms. It wasn't easy seeing her like that. I wanted to go to her and hold her, but it had to be done. When I closed the door to my room, that's when all the emotions washed over me. I was bawling the whole time. The sheets still smelled like her, and I either couldn't or didn't want to change them just then. I feel awful, and I won't be okay for a while. But I am pretty certain I did the right thing. I read a lot of comments on the old post, and it shocked me. Truly, I was a little taken aback with how many comments I saw from women who said they did the same thing. They settled for their current significant other after going through a bunch of guys that was more their type. To me, that's super messed up. Like if your partner knows and you're both cool with it, fine I guess, live your life. But to me, that's gross. If you settle with your significant other for safety, comfort, financial calculus, that's what an arranged marriage is. You want the benefits of an arranged marriage without any of the obligations of one. If you can pull it off, more power to you, but that's not something that interests me at all. I also read a whole bunch of, get an ironclad prenup. I understand the thinking, but I don't want to do that. Maybe I'm too quixotic and old-fashioned, but starting a lifelong commitment with a plan on how to end it doesn't seem right. I guess it's something I'll have to pay attention to more going forward. Thank you again, everyone. If there are any updates to be had, I'll post again. But that's it. Can she afford to keep the car? No, and Opie will either have to continue paying for the car or have his credit score tank. Personally, I think he needs to return the car to the dealer and let the ex find her own transportation. Sounds like he makes good money. Just pay the car off, transfer the title to her completely, so if anything happens it's on her. He sounds like a really good guy who doesn't want to leave her with nothing. He just shouldn't leave himself vulnerable if anything happens with the car, like an accident. She can cover insurance once it's in her name, or sell it for a more practical car and keep the extra cash. This woman sounds like a shallow idiot. Her loss. Why is she destitute though? She's been perfectly capable of working and saving, but she chose not to. Because she had you, because she was using you. You are not responsible for her situation, she is. She took advantage of you. You were not her partner, you were her patron. Exactly. She is an able-bodied individual from what I can tell, and quit her job because she had a free ride. No one forced her to do that. I have a friend who married a guy because her mom really pushed her into it. She came from a home where they always struggled financially because dad was a drinker. So her mom just wanted her to settle down with someone who was financially stable. She has been married 40+ years in a joyless marriage. No great love story, and it's sad. Don't settle, you did the right thing. You deserve to have the love of your life, and eventually, I'm sure you'll find them. Hang in there, best of luck. When I was in my early 20s, a girl I knew had to choose between two guys. One she liked, but still had 4 years of college ahead of him, and one who liked her, but already had a job lined up and would be able to provide for her immediately. She went for the second one, thinking she would learn to love him. I heard the advice from her sister and friends, and all told her to go for the one who was bringing in money right now. She was divorced with kids within 5 years. Would I be the a-hole if I, 21 male, don't want to talk and reconcile with my ex, 21 female, after what she did to me? My ex, who we'll call Beck, and I had been together for nearly 3 years, and we were living together since March of this year. In June, Beck broke up with me because she wasn't able to give me the relationship I deserve and felt that I deserved better. I would have believed that she had good intentions if it wasn't for the fact that a week later I found out she had been cheating on me with a coworker of hers, who she is now dating. I confirmed this via their text messages and a friend of theirs, Al, who I am grateful for. Al explained the timeline of their relationship. The following day after I discovered the messages and met up with Al, Beck overheard a phone conversation I was having with a different friend about the situation, and got mad at me, saying how she didn't cheat, and being upset about how I went through her messages. This ultimately culminated in her physically assaulting me, where her sister Kaz was able to record some of it. Kaz was also living with Beck and I at the time, and she knew of the situation at hand. This resulted in the police being called, and a family violence intervention order being placed on my ex Beck. This has since been reduced to a limited order following a visit to court. A few days ago, Al reached out to me, saying that Beck wanted to reach out to me in order to clear the air and to get closure on our relationship. At the time I said that I would think about it. However, I'm very hesitant to reach out due to a few reasons. 1. I've already had my closure. Everything that happened, including the cheating and the assault, was my form of closure on the relationship. 2. I don't trust my ex. I don't really believe that Beck is reaching out from the goodness of her heart. I think there is some ulterior motive behind her reaching out. I suspect this because of her character and how she treated me during the relationship. 3. I don't believe that Beck is genuinely remorseful for her actions, because after everything had happened, I learned from a separate friend of mine that she has been slandering me, talking behind my back, and being untruthful about the events that took place. 4. I've been in a much better place both mentally and physically following the breakup and the subsequent events that took place afterwards. And I think that reaching out would ultimately undo the work that I've done to build myself back up. 5. Beck and I have been broken up for a month and a half, which I believe is way too soon for me to entertain reconnecting with my ex, regardless of what they did to me afterwards. Ultimately, I don't believe there is any benefit to me interacting with Beck again. However, I've never been in this situation before, so I wanted some outside perspectives. Would I be the a-hole if I didn't talk to and reconcile with her? Edit. I was already pretty set on not entertaining her offer, but this just reinforced that for me. Some additional points for those interested. 1. She was blocked on all social media the night she attacked me. All the information I've gotten about her is from friends of mine who also know her. 2. We don't share the same friendship circles. She made me unfriend all of her friends, most of which I didn't care about all that much, but I did refriend a couple of them who I was close with, including Al. 3. The limited order states that she cannot mistreat me in any way, she cannot destroy any of my property, and she cannot get someone else to do that. I would have thought that was a given, but hey, at least now if she does that, she will get in a lot of trouble. 4. The person she cheated on me with was a friend of mine too. I had asked him whether anything was going on between them, and he said no, and of course I trusted both of them. 5. Whilst the comment about making her drive an hour to meet her only to ghost her did make me laugh, I've already gotten enough material from her and her actions, so I think I'm set for a while. I don't consider myself to be a vindictive or heartless person, so I don't want to do anything to her or anything like that. I can be quite petty though, so I'll just let karma do the work for me. No, she's just going to lie. She cheated, let her go. Nothing good can come from a conversation with her. Only bad things, like her accusing you of things or messing with your emotions. She just wants to make herself feel better. No. Exactly. OP already stated he had his closure. He owes this person not another second of his time. The best petty revenge is also ignoring this person and letting them know they're blocked and irrelevant in your current life. She's doing this for herself and maybe even doing something else to hurt OP, emotionally or physically. Nothing good for OP will come out of meeting her. Not the a-hole. You don't have any obligation to subject yourself to more of her abuse. You are entitled to time and space to heal. And you're probably right, reconciliations requested by people like this are usually some sort of a setup. Most likely to try to emotionally manipulate you, if not drag you back into being abused. Report to the police in court of her contact, because it probably went against the court order. Also, document the information and try getting a restraining order if you don't have it already. After that, go back living your life because you already got closure, so you don't need to talk to her, especially if it's gonna take you to a bad space.